What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today, I'm talking about the Rune Axe Team Championship. My name's Gray, your one and only Corrupted Angel. Let's get into the drama. There was a little bit of drama this year. I wanted to talk about it, but let me get you some context first. First of all, there are two bits of drama. One has to do with the people that are going to the event. One has to do with the event itself. Now, the event itself needs some context, so let's get started with the context real quick. Rune Axe is a yearly event. I have gone many years now. And more importantly, it is a 50% hobby, 50% competitive play event, which means that it really does put an emphasis on both aspects of the game. As a result, it does things a bit differently to a lot of other events. A lot of other events have one award, which is the Player's Choice Award for Hobby, where you pick the coolest army out of everyone that's there, and everyone gets a chance at winning, and that is it. However, at Rune Axe, it is different. You get 10% of people at the event will get nominated to be a Player's Choice option. And out of those 10% of people, everyone at the event will essentially vote on one of those players as their player's choice option. They also have a judge's choice, which is essentially a best painted, but the judges choose it, and that is also separate from player's choice. One year, I went with an army and actually got nominated and won, in a way, an award. I came second place, which was runner-up. It was a much smaller award, but it was a second place award for the event as a whole, and it allowed me essentially to get an award and win with that army. And I was really proud of it. It was something really exciting, and I loved that. The second year around, I came back and I entered again. I tried again to get Hobby Award, and I was really excited because I added a whole new spin on my army. It was the same army in terms of scheme, and there was a couple of models that were the same, but for the most part, it was a very brand new army. It just had the same scheme and the same faction as the previous year. Little did I know that I couldn't win. What do I mean by that? Well, every single event has a player's pack, and this is something that I think a lot of events around the world like to make sure that they improve on and make sure that they do things right. This usually is something that outlines the awards, the rules, and the expectations of the event. So generally speaking, a good players pack means a good event and one that's run really well. A bad players pack, well, leaves a lot to be desired and usually leads to a negative experience in the event as a whole. This year round, there was nothing stating eligibility when it came to the event's painting entrance. So it meant that I was free to choose whatever I wanted. I had multiple armies available to choose, but I chose to go with the one I was most proud of, which was the one that won the previous year. And by won, I mean second place. Again, not proper win. Nevertheless, my second place entry army was the one that I brought, but not identical. I added a bunch of stuff and removed a bunch of stuff, so much so that it was almost a brand new army. When I got to the event, however, I was told that you can't do that. You, in fact, cannot enter an army that has already won an award, even if it was second place, in a previous year. So if I won a previous award, I can no longer be eligible for another award. This was really crummy, as it just felt like a excuse to essentially not allow me to win again, or potentially win again compared to the other people that were being in attendance. And what was more annoying about it all was also the fact that this was not mentioned anywhere. It was not in the players pack, it was not on a post, it was not anywhere. So there was no information about this. It was a gotcha moment, and it really sucked. So, because of that, I was well aware of this interaction coming into this year, as I discussed the previous year with the TO and asked, hey, is this going to be something that we can get put in the players pack because this is a real issue? I don't want to get gotcha'd. I had the opportunity to win Best Painted with just a different army, but you never mentioned that I wasn't eligible, so I brought the one that I was most proud of. This ended up leading to the TO's reassurance that don't worry, the event will have it in the players pack moving forward, and there is nothing to fear. It's going to be very clear. It's going to be very publicly understood regarding whether or not you are eligible to win an award or not. And I think that was fantastic. I was really happy with that answer. So, nevertheless, going into this year, I decided to double check. And I think that's very fair. So 2 months before the event is done, I decided to double check regarding those questions again. I said, hey, what's the deal with eligibility for the hobby nominations? I said, hey, what's the deal with the actual rubric for marking that? So what should I be looking to improve on when it comes to my skill set to better improve my chances of being nominated? And then more importantly, what as a whole is going to be the baseline standard that the rest of my team needs to meet in order to not be in trouble at the event for the hobby side of things, because there's usually a hobby requirement. I was told, don't worry, it's all going to be in the players pack that will be going up soon. This information was all going to be freely available and public, and it's all good. But a brief word was mentioned regarding half of your army needs to be brand new. Problem is, last year, my army was half brand new. It was actually more than half brand new, and I wasn't allocated a nomination. I was not given one. I was not allowed. I was barred from the competition. So I needed concrete, provable evidence that I was going to be able to run this army if I wanted to run the army that I was really proud of again, or if I was kind of shit out of luck and I needed to do a different army. 2 weeks go by and the players pack is released, and this is the exciting news where I get to find out exactly what I am allowed to run, only to find out that not only was the bare minimum hobby requirements to enter the event not present, but as a whole, there was no criteria or anything allowing you to know what the judges were looking for nominations, or any mention of eligibility for nominations. I let myself read through these rules in the players pack pretty aggressively, so that way I could really make sure that I didn't make a mistake in that regard. However, the only mention of it was a simple coming soon. With that in mind, I figure, okay, well, coming soon means probably within the next fortnight. I will give it a fortnight before I actually go ahead and mention anything or ask about anything. I think that's very reasonable. I don't want to be a pest. 2 weeks go by, nothing. I eventually ask the question, what's going on? I would like to know just what's happening in regards to all of these questions. I make a comment, and I get no response. This is an incredibly frustrating thing because I want it to be dealt with in public. I don't want just some DM to rely on. I would like a public notification. 2 weeks later, I come across another individual asking the same questions, and then another individual asking the same questions. And we get all the way through almost until the actual deadline for list submissions. At this point, I've been working on an army that is not the army I've previously won with, because I am too stressed with the idea that that army is not eligible. So I have a backup contingency plan that I'm working on. That is all fine and dandy. I end up, on the day of list submission, requesting a goddamn answer regarding this set of scenarios that I wanted to know about. And this is where my problem lies. It was an oops, I'm sorry, we will get to it, give me a second. And here I was thinking that we would get an announcement regarding all of those things prior to list submission, especially considering that day we were told that it was going to be a delayed list submission by 1 day due to an FAQ coming out that weekend. If that's the case, awesome, that's all good. Except it wasn't. Not only did we not see a answer to 2 of the 3 questions that I had, which was specifically to do with the eligibility and the criteria involving that nomination process, but we only saw a painting matrix released for the battle ready standard for your team to enter the event, and this was done after list submission, which is a significant problem because multiple people going to the event come from interstate, including one of the individuals that was harping on about trying to get information for this exact reason. They are flying interstate, which means that they don't have the time to be messing around like this. It's just poor planning, it's just poor organization as a whole. If you have 2 months, and if you're aware of it for 2 months, with a full team of individuals supporting you, you should be able to write a paragraph stating eligibility for the competition that you're running, and especially when you pride your event on being a hobby-centric event just as much as it is a competitive event. This is really frustrating, especially when the TO again suggests that this is a mecca of hobby before actually not providing any information regarding the hobby side of things. This is the major cause of drama at the actual event organization level. A lot of things were really beansed up when it came to this event, with very little information being received until very, very late, and it being critically masked too late. And this is such a frustrating experience. And it caused me to enter a list that I wasn't really enjoying playing, but was the only option I had, as it was the only one that would provide a chance at winning the hobby award. Once again, very glad that I did take that list because I was able to win an award with it, which was fantastic, so I do appreciate that at the very least. But yeah, there was a lot of problems and very little communication, very poor planning, and just not really the promises being fulfilled that were supposedly being fulfilled, you know? And that's something that is really frustrating. Nevertheless, I want to make it very clear again, just to be safe, this is an event that I love going to. It's an event that I will continue to go to. I just find it incredibly frustrating when we have situations where the event is supposedly prized on its ability to bring out hobbyists as a whole and give them a chance to show off their hard work, and then proceeding to essentially not provide those people with the information and necessities that they need in order to do exactly that. As a community, we should be striving to do better every year with our event planning and also our events as a whole, increasing our level of hobby, increasing our ability to run things more efficiently, and being open to criticism. And I think as a whole, if this event is not being criticized for the very clear and blatant problems to do with organization that occurred, then there is some serious trouble we're in terms of future events. Not to say that the event was bad, but just simply that there was a lot that definitely could have been done better, especially when, for the most part, a lot of the players pack is a simple copy and paste and something that could be easily done, especially with the fact that there is a 2-month period where you could have written a single 1-paragraph entry to that players pack to cover both eligibility and also potentially an outline or a brief outline of what it is that you should be striving for to get nominated. It's not hard. It's not difficult to make sure you post the information required on the right time. Regardless of that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and hearing about this. Hopefully, if you're an event organizer yourself or you're a player that is going to go to an event, you can make sure you talk with your TOs or your other fellow organizers and try and improve on the event going forward and the events that you're hosting going forward, because it is really, really important that as a community we grow and grow and grow to be better, more accommodating, and more efficient as a whole. Nevertheless, if you liked the video, please do leave a like. If you disliked it, leave a dislike. Subscribe, because there is plenty of content coming out all throughout this week. And if you have not checked it out, do go check out the Twitch streams as well. I do daily Twitch streams. Nevertheless, I will see you all tomorrow. Much love, and have a good afternoon. Bye.